Hey guys, it's Chips on Blue Eyes White Guy here, and today I have for you the Elemental Hero deck profile. But first, let's acknowledge the Steins Gate playmat here. Isn't it beautiful? It's a great show. You should definitely watch the anime if you watch anime. But if you're watching this Yu-Gi-Oh video, there's a high chance you probably watch anime as well. It's such a beautiful mat. Anyways, on to the hero deck profile. And this is an elemental hero deck profile. This isn't just like generic hero stuff engines working. This is like with all the elemental hero fusion monsters and stuff. But it isn't the bad. You'll see. We run Stratos because it's Stratos, searches all the heroes. It blows up back row as well, but just mainly use it to search the heroes because why waste a Stratos on that? This is good for like Altergeist matchups. Run triple Vion because it's Vion. There's no reason not to run any less. It's pretty good. It's a vision hero. Let me just get to the effect. Effect is send a hero from deck to grave, and you're going to send Shadow Mist 99% of the time to get Shadow Mist's effect off to search your hero monster. So you can do stuff with the hero. So use the send. This is going to search. And also, Vision Hero Vion also banish a monster from grave to search on a poly, which is actually pretty nice in the elemental hero deck here. And Shadow Mist also has the effect to add a quick play, mask change if you special summon, but I don't run the mask heroes in here because I try to keep it elemental heroes only, but there's a few vision heroes in here, so yeah. Run triple Solid Man because he is great. He is a must-have run 3. Solid Man, normal or special summon this. Is it special as well? Nope, just when this card is normal summoned, you can special summon a level 4 lower hero monster from your hand. So, very often combos normal him, special Vion, send Shadow Mist, use Shadow Mist to search out a hero. Doesn't matter which, well, I guess it does matter. You can search out Honest Neos. It's often played to do. Run 3 because it's a searchable Honest for all your hero monsters. You use as fusion material like all the others. And yeah, I forgot to mention that about Solid Man. When you use him as fusion material for a spell card, you can add on the fusion materials from the graveyard back to your hand. So you can add them back if you want to and just keep recycling over and over. Or just add like a combo piece, maybe like because you had a Vion in the graveyard. Or not Vion. Maybe it does get Vion out. But yeah, just add like Shadow Mist or something from the grave or Stratos. Get it back and use it over again. We also run 2 Elemental Hero Blazemen. They search poly upon summon. And they also can switch their attribute by banishing a guy from grave, which is pretty neat. Especially when all our fusion monsters are based off of attributes. So yeah, so if we don't want the fire fusion monster, you can banish Honest Neos from the graveyard, make it a light for the shining. Run Bubble Man because it's Bubble Man. You don't want to run any more than that because he's like clunky and not very good, but he's pretty good still. Because he's a +2 when he's special summoned from your hand and you control no monsters or no cards at all. Now he was a lot better back in the day. He was seen a lot more often, and he's really a clutch card when you're just dire situations. You just get him out +2 and get you really back in the game. He's also fusion material plus his attribute. So you don't want to run anymore because it's not as good as he used to, but you definitely run one because he definitely showed off back in the day. Run 1 Elemental Hero Voltec just to add your banished guys back. Or is it special summon? Yeah. Special summon it. So that's always neat because you do banish heroes fairly often in this build. And also just fusion material as a light monster. Number 1 Elemental Hero Sparkman. This is the only normal monster you run in Elemental Heroes. And it's used for his fusion monsters. And using to get up the Elemental Hero Shining Flare Wingman. Yeah. And the Plasma Vice. And since you don't want to run their fusion materials for it in this deck, run 3 King of the Swamp to use as fusion material to summon them out. Also their water attribute, so that way you can use them as fusion material for absolute 0, which we will get to here soon. Now let's get on to the spell. Okay, for spell cards, we're on Triple E Emergency Call. I wish I had all my secret rares, but they're gone now. Sad to say. I only have one. Because I traded and sold most of them away before Stratos was unbanned. Then they went up in price. I'm not a fan. Traded away and they're like a $2 card. Very, very sad. But yeah, 3 emergency call because it searches out your heroes. Stratos is a spell card, so it's always great to have. It's a must of 3. Run a hero lives. Pay half your life points, special summon a hero monster from your deck. It's pretty nice, and you just have to pay his life points, and life points. The only life point that matters is the last one. So it's a free hero. It's always nice to have. Use it to summon out Stratos, get your search. Definitely a big playmaker. I run 1 Skydiver Scorcher. Now, not everyone, you don't have to run this card. I run it because I like it that it just explodes people. And it does burn, which is, I'm a big fan of both of those effects. Now most people are what doesn't run this card if they don't have the field spell for it. Because I don't run skyscrapers? Yeah, I don't run those field spells. I think they're trash, because they are trash. But I like this card because I think it's just spicy tech. It's very interesting to get off, but you don't have to run it. That's just my own personal card. You're on triple poly because this is an element of your hero deck. You need 3 polys because all you do is fuse in the deck. So yeah, and I like both artworks, so I can't decide which one. So I run both. Runs 1 super poly because it's unbanned along with Stratos, which is really weird. Don't know why they did that, but hey, it's back, so we're gonna run it. And since you run 6 of the 7 attributes, and more than likely your opponent's not running the Egyptian gods, so this is always live if they run monsters. Not every deck runs monsters, but you know, most of the decks in the game run monsters. So they control a monster with any attribute, pretty much. Drop it down, absorb, summon out a fusion monster. Run 2 miracle fusions because it banishes stuff from the field of grave to get out someone. Just usually go to poly to make someone and you use miracle fusion to banish the materials you sent to the graveyard to summon out a new fusion monster. That is the typical play. Also, it's just comeback. You don't run 3 because then 3 could get bricky at that point. But you don't want to run any less than... You don't want to run like 1 or less than that, and then you can't see it as often. So 2 is a nice ratio for it. Fusion summons out anyone. Run Rhoda because it searches everybody except for King of the Swamp. But hey, everyone else. Only have 1 of that because limited. Run Rhoda for the search. Run Foolish to send Shadow Mist or other monsters to the graveyard, but mainly Shadow Mist to get the search off. 1 Monster Reborn. Recovery play. 2 Terraformings. Now I know I did say I don't run that field spell, but I do run field spells in here. Just not the skyscrapers. I run 2 Fusion Recycling plants. Because when they're on the field, you fusion summon that turn, you get to add one of the fusion materials you use to your hand. And not to mention, you can discard a card to search out poly, which is good in my book. And we run Fusion Gate, just so we can banish stuff, the fusion summon. Fusion Recycling Plant's a lot better, but if you don't have a poly in your hand, you can't have a way to search it out. Fusion Gate's usually the way to go. Now that's it for the spells. Now on to the extra deck. Alright, the extra deck monsters. Our first, we're going to run Element Hero Gaia, Escarado, Element Hero Nova, Element Hero Great Tornado, Element Hero The Shining. See all these in the camera? Yep. And run 2 Absolute Zeros. Because we run 4 water attributes in here, and it's debatably the best fusion monster. So, we run all the attributes, so I like to run one of each fusion. Also super poly, that way you have a target for your super polys all the time. Now the better of these fusion monsters are Absolute Zero, The Shining, and Great Tornado. This one's going to summon out more often. Specifically Absolute Zero and Shining, because Shining gets a 300 attack boost for each banished element hero. But just, you know, that happens. It's just Not as good as Absolute Zero, because when he leaves the field, you board wipe your opponent's field, which is why you run 2 of them, and summon them more often. Great Tornado halves all your monsters' attack, which is, alright, I guess. Nova Master, he's pretty trash, but you just use him as a target for fire attribute monsters in your run. Fire attribute monsters. Just use him, short guy by battle, get the draw card. Not the best of effects in the world, but it's alright. Escarado gains 100 attack for each elemental hero monster in the graveyard, which is whatever. He's a hero monster for dark attributes. Good super poly target, because a lot of decks in the meta right now are playing dark monsters, but probably wouldn't take this deck to a tournament, regional YCS. This is more of a locals kind of deck. And you run Gaia, free target for Earth. His effect is alright. You can half a guy's attack and he gains that half. It's like Dark Rebellion, Xyz Dragon. But it's just mainly targets for all the attributes for your Super Poly. We run 1 Vision Hero Adoration, just for the generic 2 hero monsters, so you can use Bion for something. And he does the same thing as Gaia, but he can do it once per turn, and he doesn't target himself, he target another monster you control. So they kind of do the same thing, but they're just a little bit different. They get the same results, basically, but just more generic and easier to summon out. Run 1 Vision Hero Trinity. You can get off an OTK with him, because his attack has doubled when he's fusion summoned for the turn, so he's 5k and he gets to attack 3 times. Not directly, but he can attack 3 times. So you can attack 3 of your monsters with a 5k beat stick the turn you summon them out, which sounds pretty neat to me. Sounds pretty neat to me. You can get your OTK off really well. You just need 3 hero monsters for it. That's not too hard in this deck at all. Just need to search the poly, because you run mostly monsters, about 20 or so monsters in the deck. 1 element hero core, just something for your opponent to have to find a way to get around, because it can't kill it by battle pretty much, because the attack is double when they attack into it, so it's 54. So they have to kill it by like a card effect, and when he dies by a card effect, you can use him to revive one of these other elemental hero monsters that are level 8 or lower fusions. Also, when he does destroy a monster on field, he can pop a card on field. So sometimes he can pop himself to summon out another guy and deal more damage if you wanted to. Or just use him as like a protection or a wall for your opponent to have to get around. Like you can summon him out, your opponent get attacked into him, so you have to pop it. When he's popped, summon out Absolute Zero and have to get around that. And if they ever get rid of him, you board wipe their field. So it's always a great play. And the 2 targets for the Sparkman and King of the Swamp run. I'm gonna hear Plasma Vice, and I'm gonna hear Shining Flare Wingman. Now, mainly just ran Sparkman and King of the Swamp just for this card because I love it. It's one of my favorite cards in the deck, and I wanted to keep it in there. So I ran those in there. And he gains 300 attack for each elemental hero monster in the graveyard, which is better than this Escarado trash. So he gains more attack, which is alright. By the time you get him out, his attack is pretty decent. And his second effect, he has Flame Wingman's effect. When he kills a monster battle, you inflict damage equal to the difference between the 2. So you're going to always deal damage equal to his attack unless you attacked him in defensive position. It's a great card. And Plasma Vice. He's neat too. He's not as good as the other monsters, but I believe he just does piercing. He can pop a card, maybe. Yeah, he could pop a monster in attack position, which is alright. And he does piercing, which is alright. It could give you game, maybe. He's just there for a second target for your Sparkman, in case you can summon out a second guy with Miracle Fusion or something, or your Flare Wingman didn't go off very well, because this is what you're going to summon off every time when you have Sparkman and King of the Swamp together. For the Link monsters, because Master Rule 4 didn't handle Elemental Heroes very kindly, but we do have 1 extra hero Wonder Driver. Forgot what his name was for a moment. He's a Link too, not very hard to summon. And his effect is actually pretty good. If you summon a monster in the zone he points to, he searches out Poly. Also the quick play spells, but I don't run those in here. This is an elemental hero deck, not a masked hero. Even though I'm running vision heroes, don't think about it too hard. I just like the elemental hero fusions better. But he's a really good effect, but it's just not, you don't get it off as often. Because you usually just summon out the Zolde, because it's so much better in every way. Because it gives you a search upon summon, and you can't, I don't run the quick spell, so you can't use that card. But it's pointing 2 arrows or down, not just one, so you can summon out 2 elemental hero fusion monsters from the extra deck, not just 1. It almost beats the purpose of running links with only 1 arrow going down for the hero deck. But whatever, it's a great effect still, so you want to run 1 if you know you can get off the play that turn. But usually you just summon a Zolde, so you have 2 arrows pointing down. That's it for the hero deck profile. Please comment down below. We respond to your comments. Leave a like. Subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Also, only like if you liked the video. Leave a dislike if you didn't like the video. Once again, this is not a very competitive deck. This is just a fun deck. And this is probably the best way to play elemental heroes without having to run all the Destiny hero stuff. Even though it is run the Vision heroes, but don't think about it too hard. But yeah, that's it for the video. See y'all in the next one.